Hi, I'm Brad Kerner, and it is 2:13 in the afternoon, June 26, 2026. And I'll brief you for a second here. Um, I'm 72 years old. I live in Thailand, and my better half is 36 years old, and uh, our kid is 7. So he's at school. I'll be picking him up at in about an hour from school. Oh boy, was he was really crying this morning. He tries to talk. He's a good salesman. Tried to talk me out of him having to go to school. And God, this microphone is broken and stuff. So sometimes it doesn't work. I hope it's working. This is our room in Thailand, and there's Jack's mom. Hey, Jack's mom, can you say hi to the video? Okay. And here's where we live. We got a balcony that goes all the way around, and can't see that very well, can you? Anyway, all right, Brad, get to the point, you loser, you. And I am a loser in many, many ways. Uh, I found these hanging from a tree when I was driving around. We live kind of in the countryside near the ocean. Here's the ocean over here. If you can see it, it's kind of not so hot, but anyway, I'll probably finish this video and then listen to it, and the sound is not on, but it is what it is. That's become one of my favorite statements. It is what it is. So the TV's on in the next room, so I'd better, uh, ooh, I'd better shut the door. Hold on. Okay, coming back. Here I am. Ooh. All right. So, boy, I look, that screwed up the light, didn't it? I'm gonna close that a little bit. Hold on. That's a little better. Yeah. Okay. So, writing this memoir was really the greatest accomplishment of my life. I haven't accomplished much. Kicked out of college, kicked out of high school. Actually, that was a technical thing. I had so many demerits, they had to kick me out to get rid of the demerits. It was technical. And then they let me back in and graduated me. And when I went to my graduation, I had my, the gown and everything, the hat. And I'm going across the lawn to my mom's Camaro convertible, Chicago, Arlington Heights. It's a suburb. It's like 30 miles from Chicago. And my mom pops her head out the door and says, "Brad, we're not coming to your graduation. We're not proud of you." Thanks, Mom. My mom's still alive, 94. Oh, I won't give her the link to this video, believe me. I don't hold it against them. They kicked me out to let me graduate. I was a troublemaker, but I improved. Probably about 6 years ago is really when I quit drinking and drugs, and because Jack was born. He's 7 now, and if you ever had a 7-year-old when you're 72, it's takes a lot of your energy, to take care of that. So anyway, oh shit, I had an idea. So anyway, here's part 2 of the memoir. I've changed the name. I'm on the 3rd name change. I sold none. The marketing of it has been really torture. It's awful, and I've sold none in 3 years, 4 years. And here's the new name. Oops. All right. All righty then. Remember that guy used to say that? There it is. My life is an expat. I'm an expat, expatriate. And in Thailand, they call us Falang. They spell it Faraing. And in Hong Kong, they called us Guilo. And it was all by accident. I talked about that already, how I went to a travel agency to get a ticket to go to St. Martin because I'd been there the year prior, and it was a higher price. And I'm thinking about it. I'm in Chicago, right? And I see a pamphlet on the desk, and it said Ski Innsbruck. Changed my whole life because I went to Innsbruck, skied one day, but but I had quit drinking, so I partied had fun with a girlo, and fell in love. I've been married 5 times. I always fall in love, but then after a month, I get kind of like next, and then they run away from me and stuff like that. So the book is controversial because I did, after the acting thing, I started shooting girls for magazines, and that's controversial. If you're in the church and stuff, you won't like it. You'll vote for Donald Trump, but you won't like it. So I fell in love with writing this book, and I recommend it because how do you know that you can't be an author? You're not an author. Oh, he's not an author. Give me a break. Try it because you might like it. I fell in love with it, and I'd never written a book, but any author has never written a book when they wrote their first book. Okay, here's the very last chapter in the book, and this is part 2. This is the old title, My Amazing 35-Year Journey. Okay, here we go. I got to make sure this is okay. Chapter 174. I'm sure going to miss you, Memoir. Dear Memoir, part 2. Dear Memoir, I just wanted to let you know that I'm feeling kind of sad today because our work here is almost done. And pretty soon I won't be coming over here anymore. And the thought of that breaks my heart. You saved my life, Memoir, and it gave me a reason for living. I've grown so fond of you, Memoir, because you always let me be me, and you didn't criticize me or laugh at me or put me down, but instead kept insisting that I could do it, that I'm as good as anyone else, and to not give up. And when I fell off the horse, you were there to pick me up and suggested I get back on that horse, because everybody falls off a horse. You gave me confidence in myself when I had none. I just don't know what I'm going to do without you, Memoir, and I must admit, it worries me. For 6 years, all I had to do was plop my butt into that chair that was waiting for me right in front of you and pick up where I left off. I could just open your door and start. I've learned so much from you in the 6 years that we've been together, things that I had never expected to learn. I learned how to express myself via the written word, and I learned how to have fun with it and be creative with it and experiment with it and tell a story with it. And I learned how to describe something in a unique and fun way. And best of all, I learned that I loved it. As little by little, you started to take shape and take on a life of your own. And I just went with you and enjoyed the ride. And it was the most exciting ride ever. Yes, it was a wild and bumpy ride at times. But if it wasn't, I wouldn't have gained what I gained. You gave me so much joy, a new kind of joy that I never anticipated. You saved me from me. And I don't know how I can ever thank you for that. I opened up to you with my story, and you never judged me, or even when I was telling you things about my past that I wasn't proud of, but that had to be told if I was going to be honest with you, with myself, with my family, with mankind, and with the people that I had hurt. I told you about all those people that I had hurt, customers that I had screwed, daughters that I had neglected, mothers that I had used, fathers that I didn't make proud, wives that I had mistreated, people that I had misled, brothers that I had disappointed. You revealed to me a higher power that would help me get through it all if I let it. And you taught me to be myself and no matter what, even if that meant risking everything. You told me to never lie because it would only hurt me and that the truth would set me free. And you were right, it has. When I came to you, I didn't know what to expect and I didn't really know what to do, but I knew whatever I did, I had to be honest with you and with myself. I came to you with this great story that I wanted to share with you, with myself, and with mankind, but to be honest, I didn't know if I could pull it off because I lacked faith, and you convinced me that I had to take that leap of faith if I was to have any chance of success. I said I worried about whether anyone would like what I had written, and you told me that should be of no concern because you write a memoir for yourself and then just let the chips fall where they may. And I followed that advice, and you were proven right yet again. And I must confess that during our relationship, I continued my journey, and I very often ended up in the wrong part of town, doing bad things to escape from myself, doing things that made me happy for the moment but were very damaging in the long run. But you probably already knew that because I confided in you so many times when I needed someone to talk to about my problems and about my character defects. I can't remember what drove me to make your acquaintance in the first place, but whatever I wanted to gain by it was nothing compared to what you gave me, and it doesn't really matter what my intentions were or what I was seeking to gain because I got way more than I bargained for. I got life, I got to be excited again, and I got to have something to do, something to work on, a vehicle that would allow me to use my brain and my creativity, my heart and my strength. I got to be inspired and I got to push myself and I got to remember that nothing good comes easy and that if I wanted to grab that golden ring, I would have to work harder than I'd ever worked and be stronger than I'd ever been. Because of you, I got a chance to look at my past and to see things in a different light, to view it in a different way, and to look honestly at it and to see the truth, to look at how I behaved and who I hurt. And I got to look at some of the successes that I had. And I got to realize that I wasn't alone in creating those successes, but I had help from the man upstairs, my creator, if you will. During our relationship, I learned to accept my past and not regret it, but also not shut the door on it so that it could continue, so I could continue to learn from my mistakes. I told you my story memoir, and I'm not sure that I told it well, but I know that I gave it my all and left nothing on the field. I was fearful whether I would like you or not, or whether you would like me, but before too long, I fell hook, line, and sinker for you because I started to understand you and your language and your soul. Well, that's about it. But I'm going to miss you, Memoir. But I'm sure going to miss you, Memoir, and I'll never forget what you've done for me. And I suppose that brings us to that old next phase of this thing, and we're bound to see where them old chips of ours fall. Take care of yourself, Memoir. And just like my grandma Kerner used to say to me when I was a kid, let's not say goodbye, but let's just say see you soon. I'm going to go hide now. So, yeah, that I did fall in love with this whole process. There's 200 photos in each of these books. There's my son, Jack. That's a few years ago. You know, Thailand, right? Uh, I'll read you that song my brother wrote about me. Where are you going to go to? Where are you going to hide? He hasn't talked to me in. Oh, here it is. I might as well. What do I got? 12. Yeah, okay. He hasn't talked to me in 20 years. You know, he took over the family business, and I was also hired by my father to be an outside salesman, and I crashed a company car drunk, and it was a hit and run. I split. They got my license number, and then he got a letter from the courts or whatever in Chicago, and he fired me. And my brother's perfect, graduated college and perfect family. His kids are lawyers, and literally hasn't talked to me in 20 years. So I guess he hates me or something. And then my mom said he wrote a song about me, and I said, "Can you ask if permission if I can use it in the book?" That's the song. You do everything the hard way. All right, my brother Jamie. I won't say his last name. I'll keep that in on. Keep. You do everything the hard way. A song by Jamie. It might be the last name I use. Brad. I won't say it. Kerner. Where are you going to run to? Where are you going to hide? Where are you going to go when it's cold outside? You follow all the wrong signs no matter where you are. You never stay in one place. You never get too far. Do you ever wonder where you jump the track, rolling down the highway like a maniac? You do everything the hard way. The water's always deepest where the river turns. You just jump right in and you never learn. History can teach us. It's everybody's book. There ain't many secrets, but you never look. Chorus. Don't you ever try to batten down the hatch? Why is everything such a circus catch? You do everything the hard way. It always seems to be. The first time around, like you never took a footstep on covered ground. And you've been there so often. Don't you remember when you took another 10 count? And here we go again. And then chorus. And I can't even wonder where you're going to go. I used up all my worry a long time ago. And you do everything the hard way, and you do everything the hard way, and you do everything the hard way, and you do everything the hard way. There's a guitar and a tune, but I don't know what it is because he not only hasn't talked to me, but I guess he'll never sing me my song. And there's Jack. Pictures are so important in a memoir. My memoir. I'm not talking about anybody else. There's Jack's mom. You should read those stories. I don't want to talk about it. There's the McDonald's where I used to go to and eat food that somebody left on their tray. I was so broke from doing drugs, and I became a drug addict in Thailand. And here's a picture of actual pawn tickets. When you're a drug addict, you'll have a lot of these because you pawn everything: computer, phone, everything. Pawn, pawn, pawn. And I'm now clean and sober 6 years. Thank you very much. And you know what I don't have? I got sober by going to AA and NA here in Thailand. But you know what I don't have? And my dad said, you got to have it? A clean and sober date. My dad said, you got to have a clean and sober date. He passed away, so I guess I could do it my way. Here's all the Asian Fever covers that I shot. Larry Flint's magazine. And I shot 8 of the first 12 covers. That's what I was doing for work here in Thailand for years. And let's see. What else we got here? I don't have this print book anymore because I was on Amazon, but I got kicked off. Thank you, Amazon, because I don't like Jeff Bezos. You know, Kiss the Ring of Donald Dump. Connell for con artist, and Dump because everything he touches turns to garbage. You know, going out of business every time. And then all these church people vote him in. I worked at Bergdorf Goodman, and you know what happened at Bergdorf. He found liable of... And let's see, what do I got? There's me working on the book. And let's see, what else? So I went insane. Oh, my God. I read that the other day. Let's see what this... You know, I've heard it said that drugs can actually make you crazy, but I actually thought that was a bit of an exaggeration. I mean, I do weird things, yes, get into weird situations, yes, have totally crazy stories to write about, yes, but actually going insane, nah, I don't go for that one. Well, that was my thinking until I saw it for myself. I myself had lost my mind, my sane mind, and that is not an exaggeration, I can assure you, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, there's me at, definition of insanity. When I went to the jail here in the local town, they forgot to take my camera, so somebody took a selfie of me. There I am. In jail, yeah. Thailand. But anyway, I've sold no books. I was on Amazon for 3 years. Now I've decided to... I'm not on Amazon anymore, so Google Play Books, but don't go there because I'm going to put the new name in. My life as an expat. And, what my brother wrote about, where you're going to run to, where you're going to hide. And I guess I was running, to the next place. I was addicted to going to new countries. I'm an addictive personality. So girls, drugs, alcohol, and new countries was one of my addictions. And I just, I went to all these countries, man. So I'll show you one more time and then we'll close this video. And the key to doing anything is having fun with what you're doing. So my new approach is just going to be have fun, talk about the book itself, read from it, and my life as an expat. That's me in a movie in Hong Kong, by the way. I think that cover looks pretty good. I was into it, man, and it was luck. It wasn't luck. I actually flew from Singapore, took a bus to Bangkok, flew to New York because I started doing commercials and stuff. Because the key to living overseas is you got to work, right? And so I was an actor and model, and I got booked constantly because I had a suit, and they needed a foreigner. They didn't want only Chinese guys in the ad. They want a guy like me from Chicago. And this is Hong Kong. And like when my parents visited me in Hong Kong, they said, Brad, your pictures all over the airport. And I was on the back of a boarding pass once. I had a boarding pass to get on the United Airlines, whatever flight it was. And there's my picture, man. Because I had Brooks Brothers suits from the stockbroker job. Those jobs, I kept getting fired. I was drinking at that time. Dean Witter fired me twice. And so right place, right time, stuff like that. I talk about that in the book. All right, that's enough out of me. Too much out of I'm sick of myself. My God, Brad, do you ever stop talking? No.